Hello, welcome to Healing Path Yoga. So, this week we're going to continue to focus on the solar plexus area. We've been learning how to release this area with some stretches. We've been learning how to breathe into this area. And when we breathe into this area, we bring more prana and chi. And of course, this area is associated with our third chakra, Manipura chakra, which is that sense of the center for our inner strength and our inner power. And I think we all need a little bit of inner strength these days to help us through these tough times. And so we're going to begin just in whatever sitting position is comfortable for you, whether you're sitting in a chair or sitting on the ground. So just go ahead and get yourself ready for that. I'm going to just give a little bit of movement, and also we're going to be focusing on the kidneys and adrenal area today, in that lower kind of mid-back area, because quite often our energy can get quite depleted, and if we can balance that energy and send some loving kindness to our kidneys that help to filter our blood and our energy, we can feel a little bit more balanced and rested. So just maintaining a nice comfortable position. I'm going to move back a little bit so you can see a little bit more of my upper body. And as always, it's always good to start with some cleansing breaths. So breathe in that new, fresh energy of the day, and exhale as you just allow yourself to settle and release. And take another deep breath in. Hold it at the top with the lungs full. And then that long, slow exhale all the way out. And just come back to your natural breathing pattern for a moment, whatever that is. Scan your body. Notice how your body feels today. And start to notice how your shoulders feel. They tend to hold a lot, so just a few gentle shoulder circles. Inhale, rolling the shoulders up, and exhaling back down again. A few more times, inhaling, shoulders up, exhale. Notice how your shoulder blades are moving on your back. Notice how your shoulders feel, how they're moving. This time, inhaling up and exhaling down. Good. So having released our shoulders a little bit, we're going to actually take our hands to that lower back kidney area here for a moment. So the kidneys sit behind the back floating ribs. So this can be quite a good stretch for your shoulders and your chest. So do your best. And then as we're going to do, it's kind of like cat-cow pose. So as you inhale, lift and expand the rib cage and the chest in the front. Lift your chin. And as you exhale, tuck your chin and roll back into a rounded position. Inhale, lift and expand the chest, the rib cage, the lungs, as you just roll back. A couple more times. Inhale, so we're warming up the spine. You're feeling that beautiful flow of your breath. You're getting that sense of expansion as well as that sense of softening and releasing. Last time, inhaling As you exhale, just let yourself release. Now I'm going to, just as we're sitting here, talk a little bit about the kidneys and their function both physically and energetically. If it's comfortable for you, keep your hands on that back area there. If that strains your shoulders, then just release your arms down and rest for a moment. So please take good care of yourself. So I'll be reading again from the book Yoga of the Subtle Body by T.S. Little. So it shows us the connection between our physical bodies and the more subtle, energetic body. So the kidney's job or physical function is to filter, to regulate, and to store our blood. The kidneys act as reservoirs for the chi, the prana, the life energy in our body. The kidneys are deep seated in their body. They're not surface organs. They need a lot of protection. And T.S. Little says the kidneys are like reservoirs that store the life-sustaining drinking water for the city of our bodies. So I love that image of the reservoir, the kidneys as reservoirs. The fact that they are so deeply recessed and protected speaks to their role as storehouse of the essential fluid in the body, the life-sustaining Jing, as it's known in traditional Chinese medicine. And in Chinese medicine, the kidney and adrenal matrix, so the adrenals, like the little cats that sit on top of the kidneys, they govern both the body's more active yang force as well as its replenishing yin as well. So the kidneys are the transformers of the body. Wow, there's a lot of energy, transformers. They govern reproductive function, growth, and development while assisting in the production of blood by building bone marrow. Physiologically, the kidneys contain and filter the body. And in traditional Chinese medicine, they are an integral part of the body's overall fire energy. So that energy of fire. Traditional Chinese medicine asserts that the kidneys store the prenatal qi, the fundamental constitutional makeup we inherit from our parents that is expressed over the course of a lifetime. So there's this ancestral flow that is stored in the kidneys. So we could think of the kidneys as blueprints for our life force. And since the kidney essence is limited and subject to depletion, practices such as Qigong and yoga help preserve and sustain the kidney qi. So some of you might be familiar with adrenal fatigue or adrenal depletion, and it quite often goes hand in hand with chronic fatigue syndrome, where we just don't have that energy. And so the kidneys as a storehouse for our energy is so important. And so here's what T.S. has to say about the kidneys and adrenal fatigue. If there is physical and mental depletion and the kidneys become exhausted, one is often prone to infirmity and disease. Adrenal burnout and chronic fatigue are so prevalent in our society. The demands of a career, mortgage, money, family, projects, and travel, well, we don't have much of that anymore, all take from the kidney essence. In North America, we are the consumer-driven activity, and this seems to include consuming the vitality of the kidneys. Stress and depletion of the kidney essence compromise neuroimmunity, digestion, sleep patterns, lymph drainage, muscle tone, and concentration levels. In a society of workaholics, it is critical to monitor fatigue levels and to spend time regularly nourishing and rebuilding our kidney chi. And so this morning, we're going to focus on a practice that replenishes and nourishes our kidney chi and energy. And one of the best postures for that is legs up the wall pose or legs on a chair pose. So if you haven't already cleared space at the wall, please go ahead and do that. And if you don't have wall space, you can rest your legs, your lower legs on a chair. So go ahead and get yourself situated. I'm going to show you how to get into the pose if you haven't done this pose before. So sitting sideways to the wall. Now it's also nice to have perhaps a cushion or a folded blanket ready for your head. Then you're going to be sitting sideways to the wall and then gently lying down. And you're going to spin yourself around so that your bum and the backs of your legs are up against the wall here. And sometimes it's a little awkward getting into this pose. And don't worry if you're not right against the wall, especially if you have tight hamstrings. Just allowing that sense of comfort here. I'm going to draw you a little bit closer towards me there. Good. And so stretch your arms out, comfortable distance, Shavasana arms. Roll your shoulders out, lift your chest. Let your feet be separated about hip width apart. And just to kind of release and start the reverse circulation here, begin by circling through your ankles. So you can't quite see my feet, but I'm circling from the ankles. Just encouraging some movement in my feet. And then point and flex and point and flex. This is good for our muscles. It's good to get the circulation reversing and releasing. And finally, just let your feet fall out gently from the ankles, just like Shavasana feet. And then just to encourage heaviness in the hips and the pelvis, do a little squeeze and release here. So inhale, squeeze your bum, and you'll feel your hips lift a little bit. And as you exhale, encourage that release of the hips and the pelvis all the way down. And maybe take another cleansing breath here. So breathe in deeply. Pause a moment, and as you exhale, let yourself settle into this posture, Viparani Karana, legs up the wall pose. It's a posture that encourages us to be still, to slow down, to put our legs up to rest, to let go of all the places we've been, so we can fully inhabit the place we are now. And continuing to feel your breath. Begin by just sensing your breath in your belly. Inhale as the belly expands. Exhale as the belly softens and releases. There's no rush, no hurry. And imagine all of the tension draining from your feet down through your legs, down through the hips and the pelvis, seeping back into the earth. And just feel any sense of tiredness or fatigue releasing from your legs. This is known as an inverted posture in yoga because the feet are higher than the heart and the head. And so inverted postures encourage the return of our blood and our very life energy back to our major organs. It's also good for lymphatic drainage. And so feeling that breath. And we'll start to bring awareness from breathing into the belly and now into our middle part of our breath. So placing your hands on that lower part of your rib cage. Your elbows are going to kind of slip to the side a little bit. Try to relax your shoulders as much as possible. And as you breathe in, feeling that sense of expansion through the rib cage. And as you exhale, that softening. Getting in touch with the lungs as they fill with the in-breath and empty with the out-breath. Just being very natural in your breath without trying to change, without trying to force the breath. You can either keep your hands on your rib cage here, or you can relax the arms back to the sides. But taking your awareness now into the back of the lower rib cage. Those floating ribs. Feel the support and the solidness of the ground, the earth beneath you. And imagine that you are lying directly on the earth. And as you breathe in, receive that healing earth energy. Imagine the kidneys receiving that earth energy. And as you exhale, imagine releasing any poisons or constrictions from the kidney area. So inhaling that beautiful earth energy for the kidneys and all of your inner organs. And as you exhale, exhaling any poisons or toxins that might have accumulated. Settling into your own breathing pattern, your own rhythm. Continue to allow the legs to be heavy, the pelvis to be heavy, the arms, the head. Resting with your legs up the wall or on the chair, resting back into the earth. Time to nourish, to replenish our inner reservoir of prana and chi and energy. One more visualization here And we have a bright sunny day here in Lethbridge, but imagine the sun above you and receive that sun all the way down into the solar plexus area, this stream of light into the very center. And then as you exhale, just let it release and spread all throughout the solar plexus area. Inhale that stream of light. Exhale in all directions in your rib cage, front, sides, back. A few more life and light streaming breaths. And when you feel ready, gently bend your knees, hug them in towards you. And as you do that, you'll feel a little bit more pressure through that back area. Yes, and go ahead and rock from side to side. Give the back of the rib cage a little massage and release. And so now just a few inner thigh stretches, because the kidney meridian starts at the inner arch of the feet and moves up through the inner leg and thighs. So we can release that in Baddha Konasana pose. So bring the soles of your feet together while the knees release out to the side. And it's nice, you can just use your hands to support your knees or your thighs here. And again, taking a deep centering breath, inhaling deeply to your nose. Long, slow exhale through your mouth, and just letting yourself settle into this pose, especially allowing the hips and the pelvis to be heavy. Try to relax any tension in your shoulders. Give up the weight of your head back to the cushion or the ground. Relax any tension in your face, your eyes, your jaw. Continue to breathe into your center, that solar plexus area. And as you exhale, send that healing, relaxing energy to the inner thighs. Feel that slow release and letting go as the muscles and the tendons let go of their need to hang on quite so tight. A few more breaths in this posture. When you're ready, bring your knees back towards each other. Give a little rock and roll from side to side. And then go ahead and re-extend your legs straight up the wall for a moment. Relax your arms. Take a deep cleansing breath, breathing all the way in, expanding through the belly and the rib cage. And as you exhale, let your feet slide out to the side so you have a nice wide V position here. Now, this can be quite an intense stretch for some of you, so if it's too intense, go ahead and bend the knees and just rest the soles of your feet on the wall. kind of like a spider. Otherwise, keep the legs extended. Let gravity have its way with you. Feel that stretch through the inner thighs. So just that imagining of this line of energy, the kidney meridian, through the inner arch of your foot, and imagine the release all the way down through the inner leg, the inner thighs, and it wraps around and back to the kidneys. So maybe even imagine that you're breathing in through the bottom soles of your feet, all the way up the leg or down the leg because we're inverted, and then exhaling to the kidney area here. So lots of ways of visualizing the breath and the energy that rides the breath. Scanning your body, noticing what parts of your body are still maybe fighting or resisting, and just let every exhale be a deeper letting go. Feel the openness of this posture, like a starfish on the beach. Just relax, let go. Taking your last breath in. As you exhale, you can use your hands supporting your knees to gently invite the knees to bend. Ooh, that was a good stretch through the inner thighs. Take a moment to just rock a little bit. And then rolling all the way over onto your side here. And we're going to rest here a few moments. It's really important after being in legs up the wall pose for an extended time to just take time to let our body transition, especially if we have uncontrolled blood pressure problems. So just take your time here. You're in this kind of rounded position. You can continue to think about breathing into the back area, continuing to send that loving energy to your kidneys this morning. They're going to feel cherished and loved. And ready to help yourself up. You can use your top hand planted on the ground and help yourself up to a seated position here. Lovely. So just taking your time. I'm going to readjust my camera here so you can see all of me. We're going to be coming into a seated position, into staff pose with our legs extended in front of us. So you might want a low cushion or a folded blanket to sit on. Get this camera right. Right. So sitting with your legs extended. extended. And always when we come into a seated yoga pose, we want to release the flesh of the buttocks. So we roll from one side, release one buttock and then the other, so that we can have that sense of the sit bones now being able to root into the earth. So just take a moment with your fingers maybe pressing into the ground, sitting up tall. And your legs are active here, and you do that by flexing your feet so that you're pushing out through the soles of your feet. Try not to press the backs of the knees into the ground. There's just a sense of extension. And come back to that lovely, slow, smooth breath. And imagine breathing from your center, from your solar plexus area. Remember not to try too hard, no strain. And so we're going to come into our half-bound angle pose, which is a hamstring stretch for one leg and a hip opener and inner thigh stretch for the other leg. So we're going to start by bending the right knee out to the side. And again, if you have, as it releases to the side, if you have strain either in your knee or your hip, please use a block or a cushion, whatever you have handy to support that leg. So the muscles can let go here. Give the shoulders a little roll. And then inhale, just your right arm up for a moment. And as you exhale, think about twisting towards that straight leg a little tiny bit. Take another breath in. As you exhale, fold forward from the hips. And we're just going to take both hands to the ground here. So what you want to avoid here is over rounding the back. There's going to be a natural curve here. So I'm just resting my fingertips on the ground. I'll show you. You could also use a tie if you wanted to as well in this position as well. Oh, I'm not quite getting the right camera angle there. There we go. Cut off my head now. All right, here I come. There you go. So I'm just resting in this pose. I'm trying to center my rib cage and my belly over that extended leg. And again, that sense of breath. Breathing from the solar plexus area. You exhale, softening and releasing wherever you need to in this pose. So once you know the shape of the pose, let go of looking at me on the screen and just listen to my voice. All of our yoga poses have a gaze point or a drishti. And in this particular pose, the drishti or the gaze point is just beyond your toes. And sometimes, especially if you're feeling distracted, you can close your eyes and tune into that deeper listening for your body. On our next inhale, let's come up out of the pose. Now, we're going to slide this left leg out to the side now. That foot might come a little bit more in here. I'm still going to support my knee. My foot is still flexed. We're going to start with a twist. So inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, take your opposite hand to that bent knee there for a moment. And just feel a nice twist, release. So twisting poses are also good for all of our inner organs, including the kidneys. It's going to kind of compress and squeeze out any toxins or poisons. And now we're going to take this into a side stretch. So you can release that left hand. Inhale your right arm up and over your head, and it comes over this way. I'm going to switch the camera a little bit so you can see me better. All right, so that arm is coming up and over. Now, if you have strain in this shoulder, rest that hand on your head or even on your shoulder. So please find a variation that feels right for you. You're going to have a really nice sense of lengthening through the side body, opening through the side body and the lungs. Notice where you might be holding tension or trying too hard. Let that go. And let your head go a little bit too. And on your next inhale, you're going to reach all the way up and exhaling back down. Good. Get a little roll of your shoulders. Again. Now before we go to the other side, we're going to extend this right leg. And so we have, again, similar to what we did on the wall, we have our wide angle pose, only now we're in a seated position. Now, you might want to reach behind you, grab the flesh of your buttocks and roll it out behind you because we want more of a forward tilt to the pelvis rather than that rounding back. And to begin with here, we're just going to sit upright in the pose. So your fingertips resting on the ground. Give a little roll of your shoulders. So your feet are active, they're flexed. Excuse me. Toes straight up, you're extending through the soles of the feet. Knees are pointed straight up towards the ceiling as well. Breathing into that solar plexus area, feeling that sense of expansion through the front, the sides, the back of the rib cage. If you feel too much strain behind your knees, then just soften a little bit behind your knees. So please take good care of yourselves. We're going to bring some movement into this pose. It's like a water wheel. So take your fingers in front of you and then inhale, stretch your arms all the way up. As you exhale, hinge forward, reach as far as you can before taking your palms to the ground. And then inhale as you drag your hands back, all the way back up. And exhale. Feel a nice stretch. A couple more times. Inhale as you slide your hands back and reach up all in one breath. And exhale as you fold forward. Let's do that a few more times. And that beautiful circular motion, breathing, moving. Last time. Inhale, stretching the arms up, and exhale. So this time you're just going to hinge forward, drop your hands down. So again, you might not go very far. Just listen to what's right for you. We want to avoid, again, over rounding or hunching the shoulders. You want to keep the collarbones broad and that little lift in your sternum, a bubble of light in your heart center. So we return back to the breath. We always allow the breath to be our guide in these practices. And so I invite you, I've given you a couple different images for working with your breath, but it's always nice to find your own image. So how are you sensing the breath as it moves in your body? What happens as you inhale? And what happens as you exhale? You might even want to close your eyes here and just really turn inwards. The breath has so much to teach us. Be willing to listen to what your breath wants to say to you, how it wants to lead you. So in our next inhale, let's come on out of that pose. Ooh, bend your knees, that probably feels good. And just before we go to the other side, lean back for a moment and have your feet about mat width apart and just let your knees drop from side to side. This is a nice way to bring everything back to neutral. All right, let's sit up tall again. Start with both legs extended in staff pose. Release the sit bones. Good. Once you have that sense of balance, then go ahead and bend your left knee. Release it out to the side. And as I mentioned on the other side, if you have any strain in your knee or your hip, please use a block or a cushion to support it. And so just sit for a moment. Remember that you're feeling lots of energy from that right hip all the way out through the right foot. And then we're going to start with the left arm this time. Inhale, lengthen it up. Exhale, there's a slight twist as if you're just twisting the belly towards that right thigh. Take one more deep breath in, and as you exhale, hinge forward, reach as far as you can. Bring the fingertips to the ground and then join by the other hand. So you should feel balanced through your shoulders, balanced through your hips. Let your head go. Remember the gaze point or the drishti is just beyond that right foot, or even closing your eyes and let the gazing be inwards. Tune into the breath, tune into the prana and the energy that rides the breath. Scanning the body with your mind's eye, noticing where are the places that you're working too hard or could let go a little bit. Noticing where you can soften and release more. And just bring friendly curiosity to your practice. And kindness, of course. On your next inhale, sitting back up. Sliding your right leg out to the side, and you're going to bring that Left foot a little bit closer. If you still need the block, use the block. Start with your weight evenly balanced. And then inhale, lengthen. Exhale, you're going to take this right hand to your left knee and just find that twisting action for a moment. Shoulders relaxed. Staying broad through the collarbones. And then taking it into our side stretch, you can release that right hand. Inhale the back arm up and over. So it's like we're reaching towards the right toes as much as possible. So maintaining that lovely length through the left side of your rib cage here. Think about rooting back down through that left sit bone so that it's not pulling away from the ground. You want to root into the earth and stretch away from it. Filling that left lung, that left side of your rib cage with space and energy. Remember, if you have strain in your shoulder, rest the hand on your head or your shoulder. Just finding the variation that works for your body. Let your head go a little bit. Inhale, stretching all the way back up and exhaling back down. Oh, get a nice roll of your shoulders, shake, rattle, and you can, again, bend both knees. And let's take it onto our backs just a few last gentle stretches before we enter into our practice of Yoga Nidra. So go ahead and lie down on your back. You might want to have everything you need ready for Yoga Nidra in a moment. But before we do that, let's lift our feet off the ground. Take your palms to the fronts of your knees here. And then just circling the knees out and around and back and down. So you are tracing two separate circles with each knee. Feeling deep into the hip sockets, again into the inner thighs that we've released so that kidney chi can run. Ooh, I can feel a little bit of quivering in my inner thighs. I don't know about you. Something shifted and moved. And then let's switch directions down and around here. And finally, just hugging both knees in towards you. And so this is called little boat pose in yoga. So we're not going to rock from side to side. We're just going to stay still. And again, in this particular position, when we clasp our knees in, we are that the pressure of the ground is right against those floating ribs and indirectly towards the kidneys there. Just feel a sense of the breath through those back floating ribs. Feel the pressure of the thighs against your belly as you breathe. And imagine that you are a boat gently floating up and down on the waves of a lake or an ocean. Just let that image find its movement in your body. As you inhale, it's almost like the thighs lift a little bit. As you exhale, the weight of the thighs just releases back towards. And you can also feel that shifting weight through the back of your body as well. When you're ready, release your feet back to the ground. And please get yourself ready for yoga nidra. So using all of your props, it's a bolster behind your knees, cushion or pillow behind your head, blanket to cover you, an eye pillow to finish it off. So making yourself comfy and cozy for this practice, this deep inner journey that Yoga Nidra takes us on. So stretching your legs out along the ground, giving your feet and legs plenty of space. So feet are hip width or more apart. Arms relax to your sides. Remember to press back through the backs of the elbows so that you roll the shoulders under and you get that beautiful heart opening. Feeling your breath. And we're going to do just a short practice of progressive relaxation. So bring awareness to both legs at the same time. And as you inhale, point both feet, maybe lift just a tiny little bit. And then as you exhale, relax both feet and really let your legs begin to feel that sense of heaviness and letting go. And then bringing your awareness to your shoulders, your arms, your hands. Take a moment and stretch out through your fingers. On your next inhale, squeeze and make a fist and stretch out, lock both arms. Feel all that tension. And then as you exhale, relax your hands. That symbolic sense of letting go, to be open and receptive to this gift of relaxation. Make any final adjustments in your shoulders, your arms to be relaxed and at ease. And bring awareness now to the hips and the pelvis. On your next inhale, squeezing the buttocks, the pelvis will lift a little bit, tailbone lengthens out, and then as you exhale, set the pelvis back down. Just let the whole pelvic area be heavy, sinking into the surface you're lying on. Next, we're going to take a really deep breath. So inhale, expanding your belly, your ribs, your chest, your lungs, and you're going to hold as long as you can here, fully expanded. And then as you exhale, slowly releasing as slowly as you can. Just rest in that space at the end of the breath until the next natural breath comes along. Bring your awareness now to your face, your beautiful face. As you inhale, you're going to squeeze your eyes, your cheeks, your forehead, wrinkle it up. Pause a moment, and then as you exhale, relax all of your facial muscles. Feel your face relaxed. Let go of the weight of your head back into your cushion and back into the earth. And give yourself permission to completely relax and let go. To move through those different layers of relaxation we've been talking about, from heaviness to lightness. Move through the different koshas, the physical body, the pranic or energy body, the mind body, the emotional body, till we get to the bliss body, Anandamaya kosha and beyond. And so this inner journey that we take, I'm going to start this morning with a reading by an iconic teacher, Ram Dass. He says, ours is a journey toward simplicity, towards quietness, toward a kind of joy that is not in time. In this journey out of time, we are leaving behind every single model of who we thought we were. This journey involves a transformation of our being so that our thinking mind becomes our servant rather than our master. It's a journey that takes us from primary identification with our psyche and mind to identification with our souls, and then to identification with God, and ultimately beyond any identification at all. And so allow yourself to completely begin to release your body, surrendering back to the earth, surrendering any ideas of where you think this inner journey should go, how this practice should unfold. And tune back into the loving guidance of your breath, your own breath. Feel how it's moving in your still body. And trust that this breath knows exactly what you need and when you need it. And take a moment to bring your awareness to your heart center. Tune into your heartfelt prayer or your inner intention for yourself, for your life. And create an I am statement. I am relaxed. I am peaceful. I am loving. Or simply, I am. And repeat whatever your phrase is 3 times silently, planting it deep in your body and soul. Continue to feel the movement of your breath. And bring your awareness back to that breath at the center of your solar plexus, in the center of your body, perhaps the center of your soul. And we can lovingly direct this breath, this prana, this energy all through our body for help and healing. And so inhale from your center. Exhale, send that relaxing energy to your thighs. Feel the weight of the femur, the heaviness of the large thigh muscles. Your thighs become really heavy. Now inhaling from your center. Exhale, send that healing energy to your knees. Soften and release in the space behind the knees, your kneecaps. Inhaling from your center. Exhale, send that healing, relaxing energy to your lower legs, your shins, your calves, ankles. And finally to your feet. Inhale from your center. Exhale all the way down your legs to your feet, softening the bottom soles of the feet, softening the space between your toes. And take a few more of those centered breaths, and each time you exhale, send that loving energy down through your legs, brushing away any remaining tension, fatigue, or strain. Feel your legs becoming heavy and relaxed. And bring your awareness back to that feeling of breath in the center of your being. And inhale from that center to your shoulders. And as you exhale, invite the shoulders to release and let go, whatever they're still holding on to. Inhaling from your center. Exhale, relax the shoulders. And now to your upper arms, inhaling from your center. Exhale, let the upper arm bones release and all the muscles that attach to the shoulders. And now to your elbows. Inhaling from your center. Exhale. Feel the elbows physically releasing, softening through the inner hollows of the elbows. And now to the forearms. Inhaling from your center. Exhaling now to the forearms and the wrists, all those muscles. And finally to your hands, inhaling from your center. Exhale all the way down your arms to your open, receptive hands. Feel the softening of the skin. Feel the echo of the breath in your fingertips. And continuing to breathe from your center, and as you exhale, releasing shoulders, arms, hands. Symbolically releasing anything you might be gripping or holding on to. Let it go. Feeling both arms relaxed, balanced, heavy. Feeling both legs relaxed, balanced, heavy. Coming back to that image of the starfish on the beach. Continuing to breathe from your center. Bring awareness to the hips and the pelvis. Inhaling, exhale, soften the buttocks, soften the pelvic floor. Soften into any blockages or resistance you're noticing in the pelvis and the hips. Tune into that long forgotten intuitive wisdom that knows and breathes. Feel the fluidity of the breath as it moves through the hips and the pelvis and all of the pelvic organs. Trusting this energy knows where it needs to go to release and heal. Bring your awareness a little higher into the belly and the abdomen. As you inhale, feel how the belly just naturally expands when it's relaxed. And as you exhale, softening through the abdominal layers, through all of the abdominal organs. Imagine each time you exhale, that breath and prana seeping into the abdominal organs, bringing health and healing to your digestive system. And bring awareness now to the solar plexus area at the very center of the lower rib cage. As you inhale, imagine expanding out in all directions, front, sides, back. As you exhale, continue to soften into that place of inner knowing and inner strength. the hara, as it's known in Eastern traditions. And when you're ready, bring your awareness to your heart center, the physical movement, the chest rising as you breathe in, the chest releasing as you breathe out. Feel a sense of expansion and lightness along the collarbones. And deeper still, see if you can get in touch with the physical organ of your heart, maybe even sensing the beating of your own heart. And send your heart, your physical heart, that loving energy from your own breath. Be grateful for every single time your heart beats. And feeling that natural flow of movement all through your upper body and your torso. And as you exhale, allowing all of the back muscles to release. And bring your mind's awareness back to the kidney area, behind the floating ribs. Breathing in from your center, continuing to feel this sense of loving kindness for the work that the kidneys do to filter your blood, to renew, to replenish. Maybe even bringing your awareness now to the adrenals that sit as tiny little hats on the top of the kidneys. Letting go of any sense of adrenal fatigue. And letting the adrenals know that they don't have to work so hard, that you are in a state of relaxation and ease. Let your awareness flow all the way up your back now to the middle part of your back, and feel the shoulder blades now resting. Feel the space between the shoulder blades behind your heart center. And let that same awareness now flow up through your neck and into the back of your head. And feel the back of the head just completely resting into your cushion, back into the ground. Perhaps imagine two loving hands holding the back of your head. You can rest into. Indeed, we're all held by the loving hands and arms of Mother Earth. And bring your awareness now to the mouth and the jaw. Perhaps moisten your lips. Inhaling the breath. Exhale as you relax the mouth, the jaw. Nothing in the tongue, no words to speak. Feel the soft touch of the breath in and out through the nostrils, clearing space back into the sinuses and the head. Bring awareness now to your eyes, inhaling the gentle breath. Exhale, invite the eyes to rest back into the head, letting go of outer sight so that you can tune into your inner sight. Bring awareness to the space between your eyebrows, inhaling the breath. Exhale, relax and soften. Smooth out all the lines on your face. Feel the innocence of your newborn self. A remembering of this pure state of being. Bring awareness to the skin on your scalp. Inhaling the breath. And as you exhale, imagine relaxing the roots of your hair. Bring awareness now to your ears. Taking a moment to listen with a kind of listening that listens from the inside. Inhaling the breath. Exhale, imagine moving inwards through the inner ear canals, away from outer sounds. Feeling the whole body relaxed and heavy. Though as we move deeper into relaxation, as we let go of physical tension, as we let go of thoughts and worries, you may begin to experience a sense of lightness in your body. Notice how soft and subtle the breath becomes in deep relaxation. Like the fluttering of butterfly wings. Feel and sense how the breath is moving in your inner body. Feel and sense how the breath is moving in the air around you. And imagine your skin becoming softer, translucent, as if you could breathe through this permeable membrane of your skin, through every pore. Feel your body becoming more spacious, more light, as if you could expand beyond the boundaries of your skin. yourself becoming as light as a breeze through the trees. Sunlight sparkling on water. A star in the sky. Let yourself dissolve into the vastness that you already are. Staying relaxed and still. Extending your sense of listening outwards to the sound of the singing bowl. Let it ripple all through your body. Feeling back into the support of the ground beneath you, the earth. Take a deep breath. And as you exhale, let go of wherever you've been floating and find yourself back lying on your yoga mat. And come back to your breath, and as you begin to awaken, stretch into your fingers and your feet, and finding other ways of stretching and awakening. Or feel free to stay exactly where you are. Let the world pass by. Remembering if you are coming back from this practice to transition by rolling over onto your side first before you come back to a seated position. Just again, taking that time to transition and to come back slowly. And so just take a moment if you're sitting or lying and feel into that beautiful sparkly energy. Feel into that sense of inner strength in your solar plexus at your very center. And feel how your kidneys are thanking you for all the extra energy that you've sent them this morning. We'll send all that peaceful energy out into the world through our chant, Loka, Samasta, Sukhino, Bhavantu. Hopefully it's becoming a little bit more familiar each and every week. We'll repeat it 3 times. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. May all beings be peaceful, joyful, light, and live with ease. Imagine all that beautiful energy flowing out from our practice this morning into the world. Namaste.